Hey everybody, Shalom. This is Priest One Mayum. I represent the Shepherd's Berea camp out here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'd like to give infinity honors to our Lord and Savior, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And salutation to you brothers that's doing the truth sincerely and not for vainglory. All right, make this real quick. The name of the sit down is going to be called the Medallion Fund. It is rigged. All right. I was doing some research. I'm an avid reader, different articles and stuff like that. I was doing some research and I came across a fund called the Medallion Fund. Now, I'm going to let the experts explain it, because they can explain it better than me. But there's a lot of talk that's going on, but especially scoffers. They always come at us talking about, yo, get your money up. Y'all broke, y'all this, that, and the third. I just want to say something to you goddamn scoffers, man. Money, it ain't nothing but paper and numbers on it. That's it. That's all money is. It's paper that you get from trees and numbers. All right? Your mind is what gives it power. You see that? You the one that gives it power. You the one that think that you better than somebody because you got more money than them. You the one that think because somebody's a sucker. He could be a pedophile. He could be a sucker. He could be a coward. But because he got money, he will get accepted. You the one that gives that power, man. The real money, like we've been talking about in the Shepherd's Berea camp, is the idea. That's the real money. That's the true currency, man. You see that? But that's here nor there, all right? I'm going to jump right into this. It's called the Medallion Fund. Now, check this out, man. This for all you brothers that are going through things and, you might be struggling a little bit, man. Don't worry about it, man. All right? Because you're going to see that this whole thing is rigged. All right? Check it out.
So I think I found Wall Street's biggest secret. It's called the Medallion Fund, and it did something that shouldn't even be considered possible. It cracked the secret code of the stock market.
But they were very, very smart.
Yes, they got very rich.
Very, very smart. And,
very smart and very rich, yeah. And very high grade, by the way.
Yeah.
In 1988, a man by the name of Jim Simons and his company Renaissance Technologies...
So the Medallion Fund is under Renaissance Technology. And this is a so-called Edomite right here, Jim Simons, Amalek, okay? All right? These are Edomites, okay?
What is considered today to be the best investment anyone could have ever made, with the best track record of all time. And let me just give you an idea of how insane this is by giving you a comparison of all the different ways you could have invested your money back in 1988. Like, for example, if you took $1 and you invested it into the S&P 500, the stock market, today you would have roughly $40. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that's a 3,900% return, which when converted into its annual compound growth rate, that's 11.8%, which is amazing. But there was something that was even better. He was called the Oracle of Omaha, and it was almost like he could see into the future and he could predict what was going to happen next. Warren Buffett. And if you invested $1 with him instead in 1988, that $1 would have left you with $152 in 2021. That's almost 4 times as much. It's a 16.4% compound annual growth rate. But there was something else that did even better. It was light years ahead of Warren Buffett, and that was the Medallion Fund. If you invested $1 into the Medallion Fund in 1988, by 2021, that $1 would be worth $40,000. That's almost a 4 million% return, which is a compound annual growth rate of 37.8% after fees.
Now, I just want to say something. This is 1988, right? This is the height of the drug era. They made an algorithm that could pretty much predict the stock market, and you could make a crazy amount of money, all right? And $1 could get you so much money. It'd be the equivalent, $1 in 1988, if you would invest it, would be worth $40,000 in 2021, man. But who do you think had this information? Was this being given to minorities? Huh? It should be nobody broke. That's how you know this thing is rigged.
over 66% before the fees. And what this means is that this one fund outperformed the US stock market by 1,000 times. It outperformed arguably the greatest investor of all time by 263 times. And the craziest part about all of it is that the Medallion Fund is still around today. It's still doing its thing. But how it works and why it's so good and who can invest in it is still
And who can invest in it? This is the key point. Who can invest in it?
in mystery. And in today's video, I want to explain invest in it is still shrouded in mystery. And in today's video, I want
You know why it's shrouded in mystery? Because the only people that's able to invest in the Medallion Fund is so-called Edomites. So-called, not all of them, so-called Edomites, white people. That's the only people that could invest in it. Meanwhile, they telling you, you got to go to school, you got to get your master's. When they got a whole algorithm that damn near could predict the stock market and make you a millionaire within a day.
explain everything the public knows about it, which isn't much, but it's gonna blow your mind. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for one of the...
I just want to bring out a scripture real quick. This is why this man, he thinks that he's a god. You see that? And that's why scripture says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, Akim. So y'all brothers don't need to be getting down about it when somebody, listen, this whole thing is rigged. Because here it is a program that's around that can literally change everybody. It should be no poor people, man. But this is only given to a select few, okay? And they only put their people on, all right? Meanwhile, in the so-called black community, all we doing is lying to each other, stealing PPP loans, getting arrested, selling drugs, doing everything under the sun. You see that? Now I'm gonna read something. This is Ezekiel 28 chapter, the first verse, my first precept. And the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrese, thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because thy heart is lifted up, right? This man's heart is lifted up. He think he's a fucking god, man. He think he's a god. He think he's a superpower, man. He think he's a superhuman. Well, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua got your kryptonite, Superman. And thou hast said, I am a god. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man. You just a man. You might have everybody else fooled, but you just a man. We know who you truly are. We know who you truly are. You're just a man and not God. Though thou set thy heart as the heart of God. See? That's why they put cameras everywhere. They want to see everything. All this AI technology. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. Now, Daniel was wise, but this devil is wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. All right? That goes with the Medallion Fund. All right? Because they try to make it like the stock market is so hard to predict. These people got a whole program that can predict things. But meanwhile, when you invest your money, you lose all your goddamn money. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. You see that? See that? With they riches. This is part of their riches right here. And with thy understanding, okay? This is what's going on, all right? This is what's going on. I'm going to keep reading. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. You see that? It's right here in your face. When you look up that word for traffic.
Strong's H7404, Rechala.
It says trade. So let's bring that together. Let's bring that together. It says what? By thy great wisdom and by thy trade. Whether it's sex trafficking. The stock market is dealing nothing but trade. It's dealing with chips. It's dealing with oranges. It's dealing with produce. It's dealing with products. It's all about the trade. But if you got the Medallion Fund, you are able to understand when to invest, how to invest. Why are you investing? You see that? By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So this man heart is lifted up because of thy riches. I'm gonna let it keep playing.
Things I've ever learned about, and it's all thanks to a comment that asked me to explain the Medallion Fund that led me down a rabbit hole of research, and here we are. So thank you for that comment, and I just want to say that this video is about to get insanely technical and nerdy, but I promise it's worth it. So in the
QuickBooks helps you build your business.
That's Satan right there. Just mute that real quick. Damn commercials.
1960s, an economist by the name of Eugene Fama came up with something called the efficient market hypothesis. By studying the performance of thousands of stocks over 50 years, he came to the realization that there was no relationship between volatility and long-term returns. So in simple words, it just means whenever we open up our investing apps and we're scrolling through to look at which stock we want to buy, the prices that we see today reflect everything the stock market knows about itself. Meaning, there is nothing that you or I could figure out about the stock market that it hasn't already taken into account when it shows us stock prices. What that ultimately...
You see? Because all this is rigged. It's all rigged.
Though, is that over the long term, if this is true, no one should be able to consistently outperform the market because the stock prices already include all the relevant information, both known and unknown. Now, Mr. Eugene Fama eventually went on to win the Nobel Prize in economics, but in 2019, Bradford Cornell from UCLA published a research paper called Medallion Fund, the ultimate counterexample, the counterexample that should not exist. Because this fund outperformed the market consistently for decades, which means this fund figured something out about the market that the market didn't know about itself.
You see? And what they be doing, everybody, they dealing high-level witchcraft, man. That's what they getting into.
It knew so much more that $100 invested into it in 1988 would have left you in 2018 with almost $400 million.
You see that? If you would have invested $100 back in the 80s into the Medallion Fund, you would be worth $400 million. You got these guys, these peons, talking about how much money they got, and brothers is broke, and this, that, and the third. These people are playing with, for every bump in your face, they got $1 million. They looking out for their people. Meanwhile, we told we got to work Uber. We got to go through all this, all these hoops and all this bullshit, man.
Kind of gains that even Bitcoiners would be jealous of. And what's even crazier is that in that same time frame, the fund never had a negative year. The fund always made money, even when the stock market would crash.
So even when the stock market was crashing, this AI technology, this Medallion Fund is able to predict and make it where you still don't lose money. Oh my gosh.
When the tech bubble of the 2000s lost people 22%, that same year, the Medallion Fund made over 51%. And during the 2008 financial...
So everybody lost negative 22%. The Medallion was up plus 50.
crisis, when the stock market lost over 36%, it made 152%, its best year ever. So if I haven't convinced you yet that this Medallion Fund defies all logic and it's doing the impossible, it shouldn't even technically exist, let me give you another example of how crazy it is. Because in that same 2019 research paper, they referenced something called perfect foresight. Let's say someone had the superpower of being able to know ahead of time.
You see that? It's a superpower. That's why this man think he's a god.
Any given year, when the stock market was up and when it was down and the bond market was up instead. And let's say you are able to use this superpower consistently from 1988 to 2018 for 30 years. You had a perfect track record. Anytime the stock market was up, you were buying it. Anytime it was down, you were buying treasury bonds instead. If you did that, you still wouldn't beat the Medallion Fund, because that one...
You still wouldn't beat the Medallion Fund. You see that? Even if you was perfect. And this is why this man think he... But I'm going to jump right to it and show you Who are the people that could invest in it? Real quick. I just want to show you guys something. All right, now I'm going to jump right back into what I was saying. All right, check this out.
It allows them to use their strategy in a cost-effective way. But to me, one of the most fascinating things about all of this is that according to Jim Simons, he says that the most mathematically complicated part about all of this is figuring out how much money not to invest.
For one thing, there is a capacity to the major model. It can manage a certain amount of money, which is rather large, but it can't manage an enormous amount of money because you're going to end up pushing the market around too much. So,
and you see how Esau dressed? Brooks Brothers outfits. He's not wearing $1 million chains on, big ass Cuban links on. You wouldn't know. Look at his ring he got on. Look at his clothes he got on. He's not wearing Mason Margiela or Mary jeans. You see? But then you got a nigga from Detroit saying that we broke and we just, you don't even know what real wealth is, man. But we think stunting on each other is something. These people are masterminds, man. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. That's why they was given this technology.
Sweet spot as to how much it's reasonable to manage. That last part takes some fairly sophisticated applied mathematics.
And that's why, if you're wondering how you can invest into this fund, the answer is you can't. In fact, no one can, because the fund was closed just 5 years after it was created in the year.
And it's called Renaissance technology. Funny thing about that, the Renaissance era. See that? See? This is them back. And they telling you that nobody could. That's bullshit. A whole bunch of Edomites and elites are investing into this, man. While you jakes is struggling at work and can't get no rest, Esau's up running, jogging in the morning, doing Pilates and yoga classes in the morning. While you barely struggling to make it, man.
One can, because the fund was closed just 5 years after it was created in the year 1993. The only people that can invest are just the select few outside the company and the employees of Renaissance Technologies. But even for them, there's a total limit of $10 billion in assets under management.
You see that? So it's rigged. They showing you right there. It's rigged, man. It's showing you. It says what? By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. See that? Therefore, verse 6, this is Ezekiel 28:6. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee. See, this is the reason why all hell is breaking loose, man. Because the other nations are jealous of America about having it their way. You see that? The Lord is the one is that going to make these nations go against America. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom. And they shall defile thy brightness, man. So you see how America is shining? All right, them nuclear missiles is going to defile the brightness of Babylon the Great, America. Verse 8, they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. You see? Verse 9, will thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I'm God? But thou shalt be a man and no God. See, you're going to be a man and no God. You're not even a demigod. Look at the word demigod. It says a being, often the offspring of a god and a mortal, all right, who has some but not all of the powers of a god. You're not even a goddamn demigod. You're nothing. You a goddamn nothing. And that's all trade is the course of action. But if you know where the course is going, you're going to always win. It says a track, a trace. You able to trace, and that's how these dudes is able to get their money. Because the Lord is dealing with them. Okay? You know? Talking about they got perfect foresight. The correct prediction of future events. They're able to correct and predict future events. Okay? And it says, where I'm at. It says, moreover, verse 11, Ezekiel 28:11, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, which is modern day America, Babylon. All right? And say unto them, this is future. Thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High. You have been in the earth. Who was back in the time of Eden? When you read Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the serpent, the spiritual demon Satan. And that's who's actually backing them. All right? Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. So Satan he's actually on the left-hand side of the Most High. He has a priesthood. You don't believe me? Here we go. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardis, the topaz, right? It says what? And the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, and the sapphire, and the emerald, and the carbuncle, and the gold. Now, what does that remind you of, huh? What does that remind you of, huh? When you read this, what do you think about? You think about what? The priesthood. When you read Ezekiel 28, the 7th chapter, it's telling you right there that Satan, he was covered in precious stone. Because for every positive, there's a negative. For every righteous, there's a righteous priesthood. That's how we know there's a wicked priesthood, if that makes sense. It says the workmanship of the tamarins, and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created. Why? Because Satan's stronghold is through the music industry. All right? The workmanship of the tamarins and thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day of that thou was created. The Most High was the one that made good and evil. So who's controlling the stock market, the trade? It's the same Amalekites, the same Edomites. Who's controlling the music industry is the same Amalekites, the same Edomites. So you brothers, you can't get in your head and get all down and get all messed up, man. The Lord gonna give us our daily bread how he see fit, you know, because this whole thing is rigged. Verse 14, thou art the anointed cherubim that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of God, right? Right? Because where the Zionists live at? They live in Israel. They are in the holy mountain of the Most High. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stone's fire. When he asked Satan in the book of Job, where have you been? He said, I've been walking to and fro. Verse 15, thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee. You see that? He's perfect. A perfect creation till iniquity was, and I'm not talking about anybody getting kicked out of heaven, man. All right? Verse 16, by the multitudes of thy merchandise, you see that? They have filled the midst of thee with violence. Right? Because this man, riches, is attached to violence. That's why you see bomb attacks, terrorist attacks, school shootings. It's all tied in. It says, and thou hast sinned, therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee. You Edomites are going to be destroyed, man, and y'all going to get out of the Holy Land. O covering cherubim from the midst of the stones of fire. Thy heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reasons of thy brightness. You see that? See that? I will cast thee to the ground, and I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee, because you're just a man. All right? And I'm just going to be real quick. I'm going to wrap it up. Okay? Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, right? Because of unrighteous dealings, man. It says what? Injuries and riches gotten by deceit. That Medallion Fund, that's how they getting all their riches through deceit. They got you giving your time. You spending so much time away from your family. You spending so much time at work. You giving all your power for this company. But meanwhile, this man created a Medallion Fund. And literally, they only letting certain people invest. Why is this not talked about all over social media? Why is this not talked about in the news? Why don't we have access to that? because it's all rigged. Sirach 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and it needs to be translated from one people to another. You see that? It needs to be translated for, this is the whole premise of your downfall. Because you wicked, this is the premise. It says a base, an argument, a theory. The word premise means a base, an argument, a theory, or an undertaking. This is the theory that we have. This is the basis of you being destroyed. Riches gained through deceit. You see that? This is Psalm 62 and 9. It says, surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are lie. You see that? To be laid in the balance, all right, they are together lighter than vanity. All right? So, hey, man, the man of low degree and the man of high degree, we all going to the same place. It's just a vapor. Okay? It says, trust not in oppression. And that's what these people do. They trust in oppression. You guys that want to align yourself with, yo, I got more money than you, I got this. This is the same country that's making laws to arrest homeless people. So when you brag about the money that got European faces on it, oppressors' faces on it, then that means that you're trusting in oppression. You're trusting in Egypt. The money's not all that, brother. These people they printing money out of thin air. You giving your time, you giving all your energy, and you dying slowly. Catching cancer, you dying at 40, 50 years old, man. It says, trust not in oppression and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. So if your riches increase, don't set your heart upon it. Don't do it. Whether it don't matter. Don't set your heart upon it, man. You want to align yourself to how much money you got. But this is the same group of people. Supreme Court says cities may fine or arrest homeless people for sleeping. And one of the homeless people put, criminalizing poverty is a failed policy. So now you're going to have people in California, Oregon, you know. This is wicked, man. But meanwhile, you got the Medallion Fund. Meanwhile, you got the Medallion Fund. Well, $100 back then could have got you $400 million. It shouldn't be nobody poor here, man. This man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. This is Sirach 31 and 5, okay? I'm going to read this in the GNT. It says, no one who loves money can be judged innocent. And these people clearly love money, man. His efforts to get rich have led him to sin. And this man, his effort to get rich have led him to be the son of perdition. He is sin. Verse 6, many people have been ruined because of money. See that? Brought face to face with disaster. So many people have been ruined. All because of money. All because of money. Money is a trap. Verse 7, money is a trap for those who are fascinated by it. A trap that every fool falls into. Do you understand what that means, man? It's a trap. The whole concept of it is a trap. It's a way of you losing in this game called life. Verse 8, a person who gets rich without sinfully chasing after money is fortunate. Then it says, verse 9, do you know anyone like that? And quiet is kept. It's very hard and rare and few people that's able to keep their integrity and still have money. Money's not a bad thing. But how many people could get the money without sinning and losing their soul, man? If so, we will congratulate him for performing a miracle. It's a miracle if you could do it that no one else has ever been able to do. If anyone has ever passed this test, he can well be proud. Has anyone ever known that he could get away with cheating someone and not taking advantage of it? If he deserves his wealth and everyone will praise him for his generosity, how the hell you generous when you locking people up, man? But this money is a trap. Case in point, check this story out.
Guys, so get this. An aspiring Chicago rapper who goes by Young QC was reportedly doted on by his mother, Yolanda Holmes. As an only child, the 23-year-old, real name Kwame Wilson, was given anything he wanted, including clothes, jewelry, and a Mustang. But according to the Chicago Sun-Times, that wasn't enough. So he decided to have his mother killed to get his hands on her insurance policy. On Friday, January 31st, Cook County...
You hear this nigga, man? This nigga, his mother gave him everything he wanted. You know one thing? You don't see the father nowhere. A lot of these females, they baby these kids, man. Especially the men. This man came up with the plan to kill his own mother, man.
Stanley Sachs sentenced QC to 99 years in prison for hiring a hitman to do the job. The shooter, Eugene Spencer, received 100 years behind bars.
Shame on him. When that dude came to you and said, yo, I want you to kill my mother, you supposed to say, what? Nigga, I'm never going to talk to you again. Once you left, you supposed to delete his number, block him from all social media, and never talk to him again. How can a man want you to kill his own mother, man? See that? Motherfuckers out here just doing whatever they want to do and losing their goddamn soul, man. You know? Losing their goddamn soul, man. It tell you that. Sirach 31:6 again. Gold have been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block. It's a trap unto them that sacrifice unto it. And every fool shall be taken therewith. It tells you that.
The word is matricide, meaning murder of one's own mother. Sachs said during the hearing, whatever he wanted, his mother gave to him. A car, a job, one could say he was spoiled. She gave Kwame life, and it was his choice to take it away from her. In 2013, Spencer took...
Check that out. She gave him life, and he took it away from her. Now let that marinate, man.
With QC's girlfriend to Holmes' residence where he shot her while she slept. He then got into an altercation with Holmes' boyfriend, knocking him unconscious. He returned to Holmes' body and stabbed her after QC allegedly instructed him to make sure the bitch is dead. Over the next couple of months, QC drained Holmes' bank accounts and at one point customized the Mustang his mother had given him with gold wing doors. In a YouTube video posted to his account in May 2013, he walked into a Chase bank where he withdrew $20,000 and then tossed it into the air for his fans to collect.
This nigga killed his mother, went to the bank, put $20,000 in, and just tossed it in the air. Yo, bro. Yo, bro, this is crazy, bro. Look how much Jake got to do to get money, bro. And Esau just create the... You don't see that's a curse, bro? Esau just make the Medallion Fund?
The video was later played in court for the jury. QC, now 30, merely nodded when Sachs announced the sentence. Despite his actions, QC had the gall to say, I just want to say, nobody loved my mother more than me. She was all I had. That's it. So...
I can't even watch no more, man. It's madness, man. And this is my last precept, man. All right? It says Proverbs 10 and 2. It says, treasures of wickedness profit nothing. You see that? The treasures of wickedness profit nothing. Imagine you having all this wealth and you had to kill your mother to do it, man. It has no value in the Most High's eyes, man. A lot of you guys, Esau, especially you goddamn devil, you did all this fucking conniving, deceitful bullshit for what? And your country's still going to be destroyed. It says, but righteousness delivereth from the death. Righteousness is what delivers from death, man. So you don't got a goddamn thing to worry about, man. Because your righteousness is going to give you immortality, man. All right? Because after you die, man, the work that you put in is going to supersede your physical existence. I'm going to say that again. The work that you put in is going to supersede your physical existence. Meaning that you can't bring the money with you when you go before Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Everybody could get money, bro. But how many people could be righteous, man? Everybody can't be righteous. Everybody can't come in the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Think about this real quick. Who was the richest person when Paul was alive? When Yahushua, who y'all call Jesus, was alive? Who? Nobody remembers them. But who do you remember? You remember Yahushua? You remember Peter. You remember Paul. Well, you don't remember because that don't matter, bro. Okay? All right? Fuck it. Nobody know who was the richest person 300 years ago because it don't matter. The people that matter is the people that stood up for righteousness' sake, that lost their life for righteousness' sake, that fought back against oppression, man. And it's rigged, man. And I pray this video was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Kahala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Brakatham, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers that's doing the truth sincerely and not for vainglory. With that being said, Kwam Yasha, Allah, Shalom.